It's an Airbus A320 in the retro livery of Turkish Airlines. Now, I don't know about you, but I think that warrants a review. Hello and welcome to a new episode of Review, where we today will take a closer look at an Airbus A320-200 from Turkish Airlines. At the front of the box we have the cutout so we can get a glimpse of the aircraft model inside, and on top of the box we have the Turkish Airlines branding. Then on the back side of the box we can see an image of the aircraft. We can see it's a limited edition, we have the original dimensions, and we can see it is a Herpa Wings Club model, which means we can expect more details than usual. And here she is, the Airbus A320-200 in the retro livery of Turkish Airlines. And this aircraft has actually a really interesting story. It started its life with Swiss Air and was then, after the collapse of the airline, transferred to Turkish Airlines, where it was from 2004 to 2006, and ever since has been with more than a dozen other airlines. Now, if we take a closer look at the model itself and start off with the tail section, we can see the Turkish Airlines retro branding on the vertex stabilizer. And we have the full registration code on the fuselage. Across the fuselage we then also find the Turkish Airlines writing, both in English and in Turkish. And we of course also have the Turkish flag. Underneath that we actually also have a little bit of writing. It says since 1933, and then two more words which I have not been able to decipher. If you know what it is, let me know in the comments section below. Around the cockpit we also have some nice detailing, among others some nice markings around the cockpit windows and the window wipers. Now the engine nacelles have been kept in all white, just as most of the fuselage. They are pretty decently detailed. If we look here at the back side we can see that it's pretty alright. If we look into the front, however, we can see the engine fan blades, although I would say Herpa could definitely have done a better job with that. Now, I know it's not a brand new release, so we can forgive Herpa for that, but it is a Herpa Club model and normally they have really spot on detailing, so I'm actually a little bit disappointed with that. Just above the wings we then find the emergency exits printed on, and that leads us straight to the wings because they are also very nicely detailed. If we look here on the top side we can see all the different flaps, slats and spoilers carved out very nicely. We have the markings for the emergency exits. We also have the markings as to where to walk on the wing, but we also have the writing specifying that, so that's really nice. The undersides of the wings also look pretty decent, where we also have the full registration code of the aircraft, but in my case there is a little bit of paint that has chipped off, and that's of course a little bit disappointing, but you might get this model and have no issues whatsoever. I was a little bit unlucky here. And then of course we also have the wingtips, which look really nice with the Turkish Airlines red. The landing gear on this aircraft model is a little bit of a mixed bag for me here. The main landing gear, I think that is without any fault. I think that's very much standard as we're used to. The front landing gear, however, is different. Now we have the last two letters of the registration code on that. That is always nice. But I really don't like how the front landing gear looks, especially the wheels there. I really prefer the standard wheels that Herpa normally uses for their models. And then at the end we of course also can take a quick look at the doors to the cargo compartments, which have been printed on here on the back side of the aircraft and here at the front of the aircraft. So there we have it, the Airbus A320-200 from Turkish Airlines in their retro livery. And what can we say about this aircraft model? Well, I think it's a little bit a mixed bag of things for me. It's a Herpa Club model, so we have additional amounts of detailing across the aircraft. And you might have noticed that there are loads of small markings here and there. That's really nice. I really like that. It's not a brand new model, so some of the physical details we just have to forgive Herpa for not being as good as we are used to by now. But particularly I don't like how the engines look. When you look into them, when you see the engine fan blades, that could be much better detailed. And I really don't like the front landing gear. But except for those two details, I think it's a really nice aircraft model. And yeah, if you like Turkish Airlines, if you like the retro livery, then I would say it's definitely an aircraft worth having in one's collection. Now with that we have reached the end of today's episode. If you have enjoyed this review, then feel free to leave a like. That would be very much appreciated. If you're new around here, why not hit subscribe? That would be absolutely awesome. With that I'd like to say thank you so much for watching. Hope to see you soon again. I'm checking out and bye.